According to Charlie Munger, a well-known billionaire investor and vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, the first $100,000 is the hardest to amass, but nevertheless, he is not the only one who feels this way. The same thing is often claimed about reaching the first million, and those who have increased their money tend to think this to be true. The second one often follows much more quickly after you achieve $100,000. Before you realize it, you have $220,000, $320,000, and $420,000. Once you reach the $1 million milestone, the next one is just around the corner and appears to go by much faster. This is comforting news for those of us who worry that our money is increasing more slowly than we would want. But why does it get simpler? Let's look at why making your first $100,000 is the hardest and talk about various ways you may accelerate this process to become rich years sooner. Hello everyone, welcome to Wealthy Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about making your first $100,000 is the hardest, rest is easy. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. The process of actually starting to invest is one challenge that many people encounter. Investing often gets put on the back burner since it seems to be a low priority. Before you realize it, you find yourself mulling over your retirement plans. How many individuals do you know who would begin investing if they had more capital? They'll start investing once they start to earn more money. Declaring you'll make an investment when you have more cash is like saying you'll add wood to a fire as soon as it begins to burn. Because you have too much money, you don't invest. Because you want more money, you invest. Another justification is risk. Most of us have a friend or colleague who avoids investing totally because they feel it is too hazardous. The first step is often the toughest, as is true of many things in life. It's easy to put off doing anything until later when the goalposts appear so far away. You have to put in the hard work on making your first $100,000 is the hardest. This implies that you must personally donate the bulk of the funds. When your portfolio reaches a certain size, compound interest starts to work its magic. The returns in terms of dollars grow significantly, even when the returns as a percentage don't always rise. A 10% return on a $6,000 investment, for example, would amount to $600 and would be barely noticeable after a year. When seen in this light, $600 may not seem like much money when you consider that you might easily earn that much by working a few additional hours sometimes. If you invest $100,000 and get a 10% return, that's $10,000, which is a terrific start toward replacing your pay once you reach $1 million in investment. A 10% annual returns equals $100,000, a substantial sum because many individuals make far more than that at their work, and it's fantastic to see this enormous rise. People claim that when their portfolio reaches a value of $100,000, they can actually see the growth of their assets. Once the snowball is rolling, the pace at which it expands accelerates. The progress is really fulfilling as your portfolio increases, and the enthusiasm might hasten the process. In other words, since the incentives are so great, you'll start searching for methods to expand your portfolio more rapidly. In order to contribute more to these assets, you can look for methods to boost your income. You may also try to find techniques to increase your returns in order to speed up development. You'll consider your options before spending $120 in only a few hours at a restaurant. You will think more carefully about your purchases once you are aware of how potent compound interest is. This is because it will be more difficult for you to part with that money after you know how much growth and ongoing rewards await you if you invest those $120. For instance, if you spend $120 on a restaurant lunch, it is lost forever. That money might have earned you $10 the first year, $11 the second year, and $12 the third year if you had invested it. Of course, $120 isn't a lot of money, but the practice of regularly setting aside $120 in several areas will add up. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to talk about why making your first $100,000 is the hardest. When you have $100,000 saved, it will become clear that you have more possibilities as your wealth increases. You are capable of a lot of things that someone living paycheck to paycheck is not. You have the financial means to take the risk if you have the chance to go to another position with the possibility of a greater salary or more possibilities for advancement. If you require a $60,000 per year salary, there may be an opportunity that pays $100,000 or more per year, but it is commission only. Your work may only pay $60,000 annually. It's not wise to take this kind of risk. Perhaps you've always wanted to establish your own company but have lacked the resources or money to do so. The new company may earn you millions of dollars, but if you can't launch it, it's a missed chance. Perhaps a fantastic opportunity in real estate will arise. The opportunity to buy a house for far less than market value exists, but the risk is substantial. If you have money saved up, it can be worthwhile to take this risk. The reality is that you at least have the choice if you need to, or if a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity presents itself. Even if it's not always desirable to cash out your assets, a person's options are much more constrained. In addition to being able to seize more opportunities when you have more money, you may also invest at a higher level of risk. When you have additional cash and the risk of a failed investment isn't going to bankrupt you, it's simple to be more speculative when you sense promise in a stock. Hopefully, you'll still be making other investments. You could be given the chance to invest in a new company endeavor by a buddy, and even if it doesn't work out, you won't go bankrupt. The choice to invest in something like this is not available to someone with limited savings. There are numerous ways to expedite the process if you are still working toward the $100,000 goal. You need to concentrate on raising the amount you're saving, since the bulk of these funds will be money you personally donated. This will be the most effective technique for you to quicken the procedure and increase your regular savings. If you need to raise your income, you may do it by taking on a weekend or a couple of weeknight jobs that would allow you to put the extra money right into savings. Start thinking about launching a side company that may earn you some additional money. Spending on needless products should be avoided. Do you really want to spend $100 on a dinner out? Or would you rather save that money and use it for special occasions? Keep in mind that this is just a temporary measure until you attain your objective and can start to relax a little. Avoid making huge auto payments on cars that are simply unneeded, since these costs are often to blame for people's failure in making your first $100,000 is the hardest, much less $1 million in wealth. It will be simpler to simply keep doing what you're doing after you become used to the saving and investing procedure. By the time you accumulate a sizable sum of money, you'll be used to pursuing other sources of income and putting that money aside for savings. You'll also get used to being more careful when you buy things and thinking about whether or not you really need them or if it would be better to save up for them. Furthermore, you'll be comfortable with taking risks in the process of investing through different market cycles, and you might even learn how to take full advantage of them. Additionally, you'll be at ease with taking risks as you invest through various market cycles, and you could even learn how to fully capitalize on them. Once you hit the $100,000, according to Charlie Munger, you may slightly lower your speed. Even if reaching the first million is your next goal, it becomes simpler since most of your investments will probably be made with money earned via compound interest rather than by you personally working to acquire it. The next time you're worried about how tough it is to increase your net worth, remember that it becomes easier, more fun, and more rewarding with time. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned that making your first 100,000 is the hardest. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.